Bitcoin is a weapon system. So hopefully you understand Bitcoin as a, in terms of pressure differentials and the oxygen mask. This is why I'm in crypto. It's not because, I think the chart's going to go to $1 billion or whatever. That's what the average crypto punter does. I'm in this for a much bigger reason because I see the world being fucked. So I need an escape vessel. But there's another side to Bitcoin which a lot of people don't understand. And the thing that really prodded this is, I guess I see things from a slightly different perspective. So as you know, I used to be an Air Force pilot, and in the Air Force you are a warfighter first, specialist second. So you're a pilot second, but you're a warfighter first. So in my case, I'm an officer first, etc. And during officers training at Cranwell, you do a bit of ground school where you learn about air power and geopolitics and stuff. Not that much, but later on in your career, you learn a bit more. And the Air Force is always obsessed about air power, projection of air power. And as a tiny cadet, a young officer, I was like, yeah, whatever. I just want to fly planes. Just let me fly something. And I sort of, I just ticked the boxes, did the exams, whatever. But as I grew older and I started getting more fascinated with economics, I started realizing the projection of air power has many more meanings than I originally thought. And it's going to be great because I really want to chat with Willie after I've presented all of this, because Willie's, I'm not going to step into it, he's got a very interesting background. Anyway, so when I came across Jason Lowery of the US Space Force, who saw things, who understands the world like I do, and sees Bitcoin like I do as an oxygen mask, etc. He also had this very interesting angle, how that actually Bitcoin is a weapon system, and it's the ultimate projection of power and electrical power. So let's go back to really understand this. So this is my homage to Jason Lowery there, which the Pentagon tried to stop him writing his book. Anyway, so there are more things on the planet which are originated as a weapon system than you can imagine. Take roads. A road is a weapon system. Roads were created by the Romans as a weapon system. So they used them to outspeed their enemy. They had faster supply chains, so they could replenish their troops a lot faster than their enemy. They could project power a lot further and faster than their enemy. The road system was a weapons system with lots of ancillary benefits. If you take, everything stems from the Romans. The reason that you have solid rocket boosters the size that they are is because all the road systems and train track systems are derived from the Romans, because the Roman wagons were a certain width. That's why all train tracks are still a certain width. Everything stems from the Romans. It's fascinating. And then fast forward to GPS. Now, for a long time, scientists, we had the technology long before they actually created it. And they're like, oh, this is really good. We could put some satellites up. We can talk to each other, But for a long time, scientists didn't get the funding for GPS until the military needed it. Now, why all of a sudden did they need it? Polaris. No, sorry, was it Trident back then? So basically, in the old days, in fact, to an extent, a lot of nukes these days, a nuclear missile, they rely on a lot of different navigation systems. But historically, probably still now, they stargaze. So once the missile is in the air, it triangulates its position using star maps, and it has INS and all that sort of stuff. But what they found is that, in fact, let's talk about INS quickly. So inertia navigation system. So an INS simply works by, it goes, right, I'm turning right, cool, we've gone right. So it tracks your position based on where you set it. So if you go forward a bit, then right a bit, the INS remembers that and goes, oh, you're here on the planet because you've gone forward, up, down, left, right. And it's only accurate to a certain extent. So on a plane, typically, you turn your INS on, it takes 5 minutes to sort of work out where it is. And if you turn on the plane, a lot further from where you turned it off, it takes more time to recalibrate. Now, INS is useless after about a couple of weeks to a month, and so submarines had issues with calibrating their INS because they'd be going underwater for months, INS is a bit shit, and they realized, we need GPS. GPS is a weapon system because it ensured the destruction of the Soviet Union. That is how it got backing. Once politicians realized we need GPS to have more accurate nuclear capabilities to ensure the destruction of the Soviet Union if we needed, that's when GPS came across. And then obviously military used it, for troops and you had what, 50-meter accuracy back in the day. Now it's like a meter with your phone. It's crazy. Got hundreds of billions of research all in your phone. It's amazing. So GPS was actually, it came about because it is a weapon system. We needed it for our nukes to ensure the destruction of the Soviet Union. Then we look at the internet. The internet, believe it or not, is a weapon system. Physicists in Hawaii wanted to talk to the mainland and swap notes, right? That's how the internet first came about. But then, guess what? It took a while to get funding for a proper rollout of the internet because the politicians and war planners didn't really understand it until the Cold War kicked off, and they're like, oh, wait a minute. In the event of a nuclear war, we need ways to maintain C2, so command and control. How do we do that? What we need is a nuclear-proof communication system. Oh, wait, we've got the internet. And so that's how TCP/IP came around. It's a nuclear-resistant communications infrastructure so that a country can maintain command and control in the event of a big war. Obviously, I'm being very Willie will be able to talk to this in way more depth, but I'm just trying to speed through this. And then Bitcoin comes along, which is interesting because in my book that I wrote in 2017, the crypto book, at the end I sort of posited that there is a probability, a meaningful probability that Bitcoin could be a long-term Trojan horse. Because in 1996, the NSA released a paper of minting electronic money or something like that. Anyway, when you read it, it's almost identical to the Bitcoin white paper. And then you're thinking, wait a minute, how is Bitcoin secured? It's secured via SHA-256-bit encryption. Who invented SHA-256? The NSA. So everything about Bitcoin, even the randomizers. So there's certain randomizing tools in the world that you can use to randomize numbers, etc. Bitcoin uses the only randomizer that is not on the official list of randomizers. And the NSA created that randomizer, and no one has the de-logging, the software for that, the decrypting thing for that. And I've spoken to a lot of clever hackers, and I said, look, SHA-256 is pretty much open source. Everyone knows all about it, but could there be a backdoor if someone had the decryption thing for the randomizer that SHA-256 and the Bitcoin algorithm uses? And they went, yeah, if you knew how the randomizer worked, then you could work out, yeah, you could crack it. So basically, Bitcoin has the potential to be a weapon system because it's a nuclear, yeah, here we go. Not only is it a solid chain of custody and property rights, it's a store of economic energy, and it's a nuclear-proof data transfer, wealth transfer infrastructure. So this bit is going to be a bit hard to sort of get your head around for a while. I'm going to keep on talking about some other analogies, but try and remember this. Bitcoin, you can have property rights, which is irrefutable. It's a store of economic energy, and it's a nuclear attack resistant infrastructure to transfer data and wealth.